Hope you're doing well. It's August 18th, 2025. And we're back with another message. Let's check right in, see what storyline Spirit would like to share with us. Collective energy, please, Spirit. Collective energy. Storyline for the collective, please. Storyline for the collective. All right. In the central energy for the collective, please, Spirit. Whoa, did you see that? We got the Queen of Wands. She's very confident. She's moving. In the challenge position, well, what was this now? Well, I suppose we'll just have to pull it out. Queen of Wands is right there in the central energy. Determined to live life, very passionate. We've got the Emperor, the Empress, and the Hermit here in a challenge position. So we got research, regarding the Emperor and the Empress. In the subconscious, we've got the Seven of Wands. Protection, perseverance. In the recent past, we've got Six of Wands, a victory, public recognition, hopes and, intentions and expectations. Whoa. So there's public recognition. Something's going on regarding greed and envy. Or perhaps there is the expectation that somebody will be envious here. In the near future. Nine of Cups. You got your wish come true here. The lens that's being looked through. Yeah, these curators and such are really upset that this Empress is going to have her life of luxury. We have the Knight of Swords in the reverse. Somebody's unpredictable. They're stalking. The location. So they're really thinking about doing a 3D thing with no regard for consequences. In the environment, we've got the Truth. New beginnings based in truth, hopes and fears. It came out and flipped into the reverse, so we've got the Knight of Wands reverse. Yeah, passion project. They're scattered. The truth is out. Everybody's talking about it. They're being reckless. Disregard for consequences. They want to do a 3D thing. They want to actually do a thing here. And we've got the Moon in the reverse as the outgoing energy. So there could be some confusion here, or they're not hidden. This isn't hidden. You see it coming. You're not afraid of it. They could be confused. And we've got completion of a cycle and death. Completion of a cycle, end of a cycle. Somebody is in a 5 of Pentacles here because love has been reconciled. The Emperor and the Empress are right here together. Queen of Wands. Queen of Wands. What's going on with this Queen of Wands? New beginning. So there's some shining the light. The Hermit's here. Some research being done by the Emperor and the Empress regarding love. Seven of Wands. The Moon. Standing up for yourself when it comes to this illusion or these hidden things. You're persevering through these hidden things. Queen of Wands. We've got public recognition here. 6 of Wands in the recent past. Some kind of a promotion. King of Wands. There's the 4 of Pentacles reversed and Judgment. So the intention, expectation, judgment is being called on this greediness, on this greed. Those who are envious and greedy are under judgment. 9 of Cups here, a life of luxury, a wish come true. Swift travel. There could be some trouble. Something's going to be manifesting quickly. We've got the Knight of Swords in the reverse. Somebody is restless. They're acting with a disregard for consequences, or they have. Somebody has acted without a disregard for consequences, and justice is being served here. The law of cause and effect. It's like whatever they did, they're not able to focus. They're not able to focus. Whatever they put out is back on them now. They're very restless. Whatever they called forth is on them, it appears. The truth is out. The Ace of Swords. Yeah. The truth is out regarding the 9 of Cups, regarding this life of luxury. So there's no false delivery of reward, right, to stand-ins or copycats or any of that. And we have the Knight of Wands here. Mr. Passion Project or Miss Passion Project, they're frustrated. They're behaving recklessly. They are stalking these divine feminines and potentially these masculines. Yeah, they're stalking this Empress here. This Mr. Passion Project is angry at this Empress, who is right here in the challenge position with the Emperor regarding love. The the moon is in the reverse here, so there is some confusion. The illusion has been busted wide open, and they're in a 5 of Pentacles. They misinterpreted the message. Now I heard whoever is in charge of this curator, who thinks that he owns the energies of this realm, they told him, they were angry. They said, we put you in charge of interpreting the messaging. So he was in charge of this Empress's mind. He was supposed to interpret the messaging or whatever, and then he was in charge of also destroying her reputation within that connection. So Mr. Passion Project is thinking about the Empress right now, feeling real dark and insecure because they're in a 5 of freaking Pentacles. They've lost everything. This is a completion of that heavy burden of the past for this Empress. And we've got the Queen of Pentacles here. So there could be whatever they're deciding what they're going to do. They're making plans for the future. What are they going to invest in, spend this money on? Somebody is trying to manage themselves. They got lots of things going on, but they're in a freaking nightmare, and they're restricted from making love offers because there's no love in them. There is a public recognition here regarding the High Priestess and this soul connection. Yeah. So Mr. Knight in Shining Armor is getting divorced out, while you, because you worked hard for these results, for this foundation here. So it's all going to you. All of this money and all of this abundance is going to the 10 of Cups unions. And the King of Swords knows the truth over who worked for what, who put in the work, who is actually deserving of this life of luxury. He knows exactly who it is because he's here with the King of Cups also doing research. They know exactly who, what, when, why, where, and how. And there's a whole lot of folks getting disconnected from the love of divine feminine. Yep. Yep. This is an enterprise. It's a worldwide thing. Somebody's in a 9 of Swords energy. They can't sleep because they've been let go. With the Hanged Man here, by God. And the Queen of Wands. Now this could, and the wheel turns. The wheel turns. This is the completion of that cycle, and you're moving on. You're moving on, transitioning out of that. You got a lot of opportunity here, a rebirth. And whoever this is, Mr. Passion Project, you know, they gotta leave. They're in regret. They're leaving. They're disappointed about their future here, because the Temperance Angel is free of this trickery, and they are disappointed. They gotta walk away. They gotta walk away. There could be a magician here trying to find new ways of communicating in this community that's celebrating. They're very upset. They're very upset. They're concerned over control. They're losing control. Their false foundation. See, and this is what I was thinking the other day. It's like this Empress, they built their empire on the foundation of this Empress, the stolen intellectual property, the stolen energy and vitality, and perhaps this Emperor as well. They built their foundation on this stolen energy and vitality, and now that they are here, it's like, you know, they own all of the pieces that have been playing in the game, but the Empress and the Emperor are not part of that anymore. The foundation has been reclaimed. They've taken back their energy and their intellectual property, and they're moving into a new thing. And that means that these guys don't have a foundation. There's no foundation for any of their actors or their actresses. They've lost it. The chessboard has been removed from the playing field. The game's over. Queen of Wands is here, very passionate. She's got a new beginning. We've got blame in the reverse. Like, nobody can blame her for anything. And I don't know if Queen of Wands, King of Wands are a pair, and then you've got Emperor, Empress here, or if they're actually in their fire energy, doing research. Emperor, Empress doing research on this love here. Yeah, they're removing. So it could be that there actually is a Queen of Wands and a King of Wands, and they're removing the negative energies out here. Making room for love, making room for peace. Restoring love and peace. They're standing up for themselves. They're maintaining control over the illusion. And there's no grief. They're not in grief. We've got a public recognition here with the Six of Wands for the King of Wands energy. He's overcoming all those challenges and he's publicly recognized. Growth and expansion in consciousness and awareness. He knows full well what's going on here, and perhaps others do too. He's here in service to the collective. The expectation or the intention is to recognize this greed, this envy, and call judgment on it. Yeah. Guilt. Calling judgment on the guilt. We've got the Nine of Cups. Yeah, the guilty, they need to surrender their need to control this. The judgment is they got to let go. They got to let it go. You're coming into a life of luxury very quickly. This is darn near over. It's coming to a close. You're not dealing with any envious. Yeah, the envious people, you're gonna come into a wish come true very, very quickly. It's like there won't be any envious energy around you. Knight of Swords is behaving very impulsively. The law of cause and effect is here. Justice is being served. Yeah, they're being disciplined. They're being disciplined. The Ace of Swords is here. The truth and mental clarity is here regarding this Nine of Cups. And happiness. See, these people that were wanting to fight with you, they're happiness haters. There's no happiness inside of them, which is why it's really important to try to manage your emotions and not be managed by them, because if you're consistently managing yourself and focused on the higher vibrational energy, then and you're not into this anger and this need to hold grudges or be, all the time, then it's kind of easy to pick you out of the crowd. Mr. Passion Project, Miss Pageant Project, they're very stressed out and frustrated about this Empress. They were reckless. They were very reckless regarding this Empress, and they may want to be reckless also. Yeah, they're frustrated because the Empress is balanced and she brings a perfect harmony into her world. Regardless of all the suffering, she still brings a sense of harmony to her world. And these ones are confused about it. It's like there's no illusions. It's all seen here. And these ones are suffering a financial loss because of love and relationships that serve the higher good in love. They're losing everything. Love wins. Love and relationships that serve the higher good win. You're very courageous here. You take care of your health. And somebody's in regret because judgment is being called here. They're in fear. These ones were talking about this feminine as though she is a magistrate. And it's like the Empress and the King of Wands here is delivering justice. Somebody doesn't know what to do here because you're grateful and you're thankful and you're here in service to the community and you're successful doing so. You know that there's no greater goal than to love. Love wins. Relationships that serve the higher good wins. They have persevered, and because they have persevered, there's a change within the mental body of the collective. I really believe it's all going to be lifted into a state of happiness. It's like these last ones, they were happiness haters. They hated people being happy. And so that because love wins, these ones, they're out of here. We're getting rid of it. The guilty ones, the judgment is, the guilty ones need to surrender their need to control. The greedy, guilty ones need to surrender their need to control this foundation. It doesn't belong to them. They're very angry about this Empress. See, these are misogynists that hate divine feminines. They hate feminines so bad that because that's where, the womb, like the energy that gets poured into the womb during creation of life comes through the divine feminine. And these ones have been feasting on that energy. They've been extracting it out and extending their own lives and healing themselves with it rather than letting her be the abundant divine mother that she is. They've been harvesting her energy. Terrible, terrible. You're here, you got friends, you know what they're here for. They're here in purpose. The purpose is freedom. You're breaking free. Love is breaking free of tyranny and happiness haters. They have failed. They have failed. They're very upset. They want to come after this Empress and this Emperor. They want to take them both out. They're tired of it. We've got the Queen of Wands and the King of Wands is here as well. They weren't able to blame them. Now, whether they are here as Emperor, Empress, shining a light and doing research on love, releasing the negative energy, making room for peace, for love, but it could be that they have been operating in their Queen of Wands and King of Wands passion energy, like they've been going to war in their fire energy, right? Take it as it resonates. We've either got two couples here or we've got an Emperor and an Empress who've been operating in their fire energy. Overloaded. Yeah, somebody's not able to blame. So there's a new beginning. Queen of Wands is determined to move forward into this new beginning. And there's no blame here. Like nobody's able to blame her for whatever it is they got going on. And they're overwhelmed by this. They're overloaded. Like they got to handle their own shit. Their own curses. The curses that they've been putting on to this bright Queen of Wands is like, well, first of all, there's evidence of it. And these ones are losing. Shining a light here, doing research. Emperor and Empress in love. Ace of Cups, love. Restoring peace. Removing negative energy. Restoring peace for family. For family. Domestic harmony. Wrapped in love. So, you maintain control over the illusion. There's no grief here. You maintained control in the face of fear and anxiety, this illusion that was meant to just make you wither. There is no grief. You've got alliances here. Trustworthy, honest, and true. This curator and his friends are upset that this Empress apparently has an army. They're extremely disturbed over your ability to love yourself back to health. They're very prideful, and they're very disturbed by that. There's a victory here and public recognition for the King of Wands. He's grown a lot in consciousness and awareness, and we've got profession in the reverse. He's putting an end to greed, working in the foundation, on the foundation. They're calling judgment on it, the guilty, those who are guilty of this greed, this freaking, yeah, they were tempted. Those who were tempted, those who took a bribe to move against the love of Queen of Wands, King of Wands, and Emperor, Empress, the family, the family, they're in trouble. They're calling judgment on it. We've got the Nine of Cups. There's a wish come true coming in very quickly, and you're losing envy. Like, there's no more envy here. There's no more envy in the near future. There's going to be calm inner peace. That's what the future is. A life of luxury, emotional stability. There's not going to be, yeah, we're going to have care, high value care for the sweethearts. High value care. Calm, caring, you love the babies, you love family, you're high value, you're sweethearts, you're going to have a family, a beautiful, you're like the next generation of humans. These antagonists, these misogynists, they were bragging about, we are just coming out of 4th generation human. We know that they were doing the injections. They tried to get every single person injected, and that was because they wanted to align the genetics with whatever frequency or vibration or realm that they wanted them in, right? They got to draw the frequency into whatever dimensional space they created for that frequency. I hope that there's some kind of an interruption. I really do. You know, they altered the temple, so they feel that they own the essence within the temple because they genetically modified the temple, which holds the soul and the spirit. So because they feel they own the temple, which houses the soul and spirit, they feel they own that energy. Mad scientists. They have no direction. They're very unpredictable. They're burned out. They are unfocused. Justice is happening right now. The law of cause and effect. They're being disciplined. They're getting disciplined. They're not able to rob you. It's a failed robbery. The Ace of Truth, the Ace of Swords is out here regarding the truth, regarding those who actually earned this Nine of Cups. They're happy. They're aware that being happy means that they're on the right path, and so they did that, right? They're happy through the extreme challenges. They kept their happiness up through the risk. They survived it. We've got a Knight of Wands. Passion project is angry because this Empress brings harmony, a state of perfect harmony to herself and to her home, her world. And they're frightened about it. They're frightened because they can't knock her out of her divine mother energy. They wanted her to be part of this passion project, to load her up with all of their orgy crap, you know, and they're frightened because she's an expert alchemist and transmuter of this disgusting stuff that they've been forcing everybody to live in, and they're frightened. She's restoring balance here, releasing fear. The moon is in the reverse. There is no confusion here. They're in a Five of Pentacles energy now, those who were moving against these divine couples, because love and relationships that serve the higher good have won. Stable. Okay. Divine Feminine is stable and okay. Bringing harmony. everywhere she goes. And these ones are lost. They have lost. They're losing everything that they love. They were talking about demolition. Like everything that they built on the foundation of this Empress's energy is coming undone because they have lost, they have fumbled the Empress's energy. They have lost her. And the Most High God said they will never get her back. So they're gonna lose. They've already lost, and now they're getting confined. They've lost their freedom. You've lived and learned a lot, and you've been lifted out of here by the divine. The Most High God has shown you mercy because you withstood all of the mental disturbances, all of the scary, you know, supernatural crap that they were bringing at you, trying to fight with you, you know, in the physical, in the spirit. So you've received a promise. This is going to stop. It's stopping. It's stopping now. And you're moving into your fate, your destiny. These bullies strategize to mind read you, mind F you, steal your intellectual property, claim that they were you. There's evidence here. Research has been done. You are a good moral human, and you have been severely attacked by these others who wanted to fight. I'm the Empress! Come on, man. Empress doesn't run around acting like a freaking basket case. There's a coach here who wants to apologize for what? Training people to do this kind of crap. You persevered, and so there is a triumph here. You persevered, and you have triumphed over this. And these ones, these were trying to dominate you, are protesting. They're getting separated out of your energy, out of your life, out of your territory. They got to go away. Justice is being served. They're getting cast away for using forbidden magic on love and loving unions. Death. So death to their money for what the mask wears, the pretenders, the fake people who hurt people and took their stuff. So there's a death to all their money and to their ability to be saved. Like, there's death. They're furious about it. They're furious because you're at peace. They're like, damn, you can't be at peace. Because you're at peace, everything's falling apart for them. You've got sweet dreams here. You're coming into the fruits of your labor. And they're so upset. It's time for you to have your new family tree. Emperor is right next to the Empress. And we've got the Queen of Wands here in the central energy. And in the recent past, the King of Wands having a public recognition. Something significant has gone down and perhaps gone up. Queen of Wands is here. She's very passionate and determined to live her life. It could be the Empress in her Queen of Wands energy. She's like, hey, these ones are, they're like overwhelmed. They're overloaded. They went crazy trying to blame Divine Feminine for their atrocious behaviors. They wanted her blamed for what they were doing, and it didn't work out that way. They're in despair. They're in despair. They've been talking about forever young. I wanna be forever young. So there's forever young. There's at least 1,000-year life cycle coming up. This Empress, I believe, is a magistrate in the spiritual courts. She's a judge, and so is this Emperor. Queen of Wands, King of Wands, they're delivering justice, overcoming challenges, calling judgment, delivering justice. Friend, so you're maintaining control. You're standing up for yourself regarding this illusion. Everything that they thought you were going to be afraid of, you managed yourself in it. There's no grief here. You've got alliances that are trustworthy and honest friends. Public recognition for the King of Wands, who's grown in consciousness and awareness. These people who were working against him, they're in a prison. They could be in a mental prison. I heard these dominator masculines talking about the need to stabilize her. They could have one of their feminine copycat wannabes who is no longer stable. They could be in a mental prison. It could be that the work they did has backfired on them. They wanted to destroy the peace. This foe is in a mental prison because whatever work they did on this sweetheart has backfired. And these enemies are talking about stabilizing her. She is totally messed up in the head. I don't know if she'll make it because it's over and over and over and over and over again. It's not just like a one-time, oh, I'm going to go mess with their head thing. No, it's like they really wanted to like so judgment is being called on these greedy, envious people. They've been found guilty. They need to surrender their need to control. They took a bribe. They were tempted. Priest. Freaking priest. This priest married people. They were false contracts, forged documents, or they were gained through forbidden magic in the spiritual realm. And then a lot of suffering would occur in the 3D. These people would rob them of their spiritual inheritance and then leave them without a steady, stable foundation here in the 3D. And then they would convict them of not being able to handle their marriage or their or their wealth. They had a good scam going. You're coming into your life of luxury. Your wish come true. It's coming in very quickly. The envious ones are not here, and you aren't envious of each other. You're sweethearts. You care about parenthood. You care about your high value, and you care about everything in your life being peaceful, simple, frivolity, happy. You've got your wings here. You're about ready to take off very quickly. Knight of Swords in the reverse, doesn't know which way to go or what to do. Justice is being served here, the law of cause and effect. They're getting disciplined because of this failed robbery attempt. They tried to rob and they failed, and now they're getting called out. Oh, death. It's what they wanted for this Empress. It's what they still want for this Empress. They're out there tracking her to her home state, her hometown. They're looking at her address. They're looking at her driver's license. They're looking at her registration. They're looking at home security. Are there cameras? Are there pets in the home? Where does the back door open to? They've got projectionists, astral travelers coming in, looking at stuff, and then telling them all these details so that they can plan a home invasion or plan some kind of derelict, driven catastrophe on the home stage or somewhere else. Please use your awareness wherever you are at all times over the next here things. So yeah, the Ace of Swords is here. You've earned yourself a 9 of Cups for remaining happy, for cultivating happiness while they were sending natural disaster to your mind. You maintained happiness. You focused on the lighter side of life. You knew that you were on the right path as long as you could just be happy about something, and you focused hard on it. And these people, they're all messed up. They can't stop thinking about it now because you were able to stay happy. in this natural disaster. They can't stop thinking about it. There's a Knight of Wands that's impatient. They want to bring conflict to this Empress, but she brings a state of perfect harmony into her world, and she does so without judgment. She's just a sweetheart, and these people are frightened about it. They're freaking paranoid. Fortune. She is a fortune. She is a fortune of balance and harmony. She is the abundant divine mother energy. And Passion Project would get in and then hook in. Oh, they're frightened because this is the fortunate wife, and she is love. She is love. They tried to turn this Empress into a prostitute. They prostituted her energy, probably kept her single most of her life. She probably hasn't had any children, and if she has, she probably had to raise them alone. She is love, and they tried to make her malicious, want vengeance, to be so angry at the masculine that she would condemn them all. They're frightened because she is the wife of this emperor, and he's right here with her. She is a fortune of balanced and harmonized love. And I'm not talking about perverted lust or anything like that. She is the epitome of sweetheart, freaking caring love. So now they're confused and they're losing everything. They're in a Five of Pentacles energy because relationships that serve the higher good have won. They are stable, they're okay, and love is here, committed to love. A servant of love, not a prostitute, but a servant of love. We do have pleasure seekers here that were scamming the mental body of high value people. These haughty, stuck up, envious folks. They were reading people's minds. There's a scholar here that's getting a letter, waiting. There's a thief waiting on something, waiting on this enemy to create what? They want this enemy to create a widower out of the Lord. They're coming in, yeah, they're going to be in a freaking misfortune is what they're going to get. They're going to have to go see the doctor. Shit's going to burn down all around them. They're a liar, 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 liar. Everything is being demolished. Everything that was built on her energy, on his energy, everything that was built on on their intellectual property, which had been harvested and then twisted, yeah, it's all theirs. It all belongs to them. The entire foundation belongs to them, and they can do with it as they please. These people have been playing in their playground, and now they're cleaning up the sandbox. Got all those fleas in the freaking sandbox. Got to clean out the sandbox, man. We need to prepare a place for the children to play. Queen of Wands, she's determined to live her life. She's like, look, this is my life. I'm not giving it up. I'm having my new beginning. You will not blame me for your stuff. And now they're overwhelmed because they're obligated to handle their own crap. There was an overload of stuff here, and they can't blame her with it. She gets a new beginning. She gets to go play. They were playing around. They're overloaded because it's time for play for this Queen of Wands. She's like, look, man, she's been fighting. She's been wielding that wand. She's been out there insisting that she was not going to give up her life. She's like, look, we got some research being done here. Emperor, Empress with the Hermit card. They're here looking at love. They're releasing the negative energy. They are a being of love, and they're making room for peace for the family so that they can be safe when they play. loved, cared for. The anomaly. The shining ones, the light, the stars, the suns, the Emperor and the Empress are here, and the Hermit looking at the Ace of Cups, love. There will be peace for the family of light. You got some real bad dudes out here, though, that are upset because, you know, they did not want this Emperor and this Empress coming together. That's what it's all been about. They are love. They are love. And these ones are happiness haters. They hate love. So they don't have to be around. They can go elsewhere. The foundation belongs to the Emperor and the Empress. It always did. These ones were permitted to come in and collaborate, but then they started doing some twisting with the magic. They did some forbidden shit, and they took over the house of the Emperor, Empress, and then they turned it into a battlefield. Those days are over. But these masculines are really, really pissed, and they're talking to their feminines, their copycat feminines, and their masculine that has been accustomed to buying the merchandise of the feminines, doing with it as they will. You're protected during the risk by your alliances who are friends. Yeah. So whoever tries to come toward you right now, they are at risk because you are protected. It's like, you know, but it's their choice, right? They'll do whatever they want to do. So we got the public recognition here for the King of Wands. He is here in service. He's grown in consciousness and awareness regarding the profession, the work that these enemies have been doing here. They're in a mental prison right now. Or maybe he knows about their profession for the mental prison. Whatever it is, it backfired on the foe. Whatever work they did backfired on the foe. And now, this is a man and a woman on this card. They're both in a mental prison. The adversary is talking about stabilizing her. Whoever it is, she messed up. And now she's messed up in the head. Resistance. They're trying to fly into the wind, man. They're trying to get back to where they were. She was trying to get back to where she was, and the magic or the profession, the work that she did, backfired, and now this foe is in a mental prison. They're greedy, they're envious, and judgment is being called. There's a priest. This is a priest. Guilty, took a bribe, was tempted by the merchandise of this wife, and they need to surrender their need to control. This emperor is going to mess that person up. It was a severe betrayal. It's like this person was in charge of protecting this empress, and instead of protecting her, he flipped her, copycatted her, and then had all of these different copycats doing blood rituals, orgy magic, and all this other stuff, wearing her harvested energy, wearing her memories. This priest and this forbidden magic he's going to get effed up bad. Bad. He's going to get messed up bad. He's in upheaval. He's in upheaval. Everything is coming apart, destroyed, demolished. Everything they built on the foundation of this Empress's stolen intellectual property and energetic signature, all of her special gifts that were brought here to nurture loving families with their children, he's messed up. He's messed up. He's going to lose it all. You're coming into your 9 of Cups, your life of luxury. It belongs to you. It always belonged to you. It's coming very quickly. There's not going to be any envy in this new situation. You care about family. You care about parenthood. You care about inner peace. You're very calm. You want calm. You're tired of chaos. You're a sweetheart. You're a high value, beautiful sweetheart. You've got your wings, and it's time to plant seeds. You're going to be planting your seeds. You're planting your seeds. Knight of Swords in the reverse is acting with disregard for consequences. They are being unpredictable right now. Justice is being served. They're being disciplined. They were not able to rob the Empress this time. There's death here. It was a failed robbery, and now there is death. Because we're going in a new direction, which is balanced. This is an end of this robbery of divine mother figures. This is an end to the disruption between divine sacred counterparts that God has ordained should be together. This is an end of that. We're going in a direction of balance. And this Empress she brings a state of perfect harmony into her world. And this priest and these little passion project little wand boys or whatever, they're frightened. They moved against love, divine love, the highest level of love, the love that served them and supported them while being forced and freaking stabbed. You know, how many times did this Empress probably get sacrificed over the centuries in the spiritual realm? And this Emperor too. They both walked through impossible life paths, and they're here now reclaiming the foundation. And you got some interdimensional bad freaking entities proclaiming themselves as men, but they're not. They're what do they call them? I just went to the restroom and they said something. Well, they're not men. They rejected their vessel, the temple that housed their soul. They rejected the vessel of the temple that housed their soul, and they chose an AI or some kind of a clone or something. They wanted to live forever, and they thought that they were going to trap this Empress and her sacred womb energy. Not just this Empress wife, but every other feminine. They wanted to desperately keep them away from these divine masculines, because divine masculines is the protector, is the one that keeps the foundation for the woman and the child. And he's back. He's back with a vengeance. He's back with a vengeance. So these ones are now, they're frightened. They're paranoid. They could be at a distance, or they're frightened and paranoid because they are moving to a distance. They got to stay at a distance. They can't get close to her. They're going to want to, though. They're going to want to. They want to bring conflict so bad. Their energy is scattered. They've lost her ability to maintain balance. They're not in a temperance energy. They're in the root chakra. They're in fight or flight. They're in survival mode, and they just go out and F everything. They're scattered right now, frustrated. Survival. Whenever the servant is, of this priest or whatever this black hole soul is that they've been feeding the light-bearing people to. They're in poverty. The illusion is busted right open. You're not afraid of it. Relationships that serve the higher good are here, committed to the practice of seeing the good in all things, to being love. They're stable. They're in a state of harmony. This servant is thinking about survival now. This servant is thinking about survival. The mischief that they have been doing in the community with their upside down perspective is seen. They've been exposed. Yeah. Astral projecting, remote viewing, wandering around in the midnight hour of your home, watching you sleep, giving you a wet dream, harvesting the energy so they can go apply that energy to their forbidden magic so that they can deceitfully blame you. Not this time. Not this time. We've got nature in the territory. Nature, Mother Nature has the territory. And the trickster scavengers are in grief. Mother Nature has the freaking territory. The Most High God said that she will never give it back. Never will she give it back. They will never take her home from her again. They will never command the foundation where loving unions and childbirth occurs. They're being warned, or were being warned, of this negative influence that they were putting in. They were seen. Everything is seen. They're anticipating an empty house. Nobody wants to listen to them. Those who stole your abundance, these who pretended that they were you, that they were abundant, they were pretending that they were abundant, limitless beings, and they weren't. They were siphoning off of everybody else. They're being released. They're being released. They were spying on other people and extracting their intellectual property and their plans. Whatever they were working on, they were spying on what they were doing, their growth, and then they were taking it. They're under wrath. They're receiving wrath. Why? Because you're free of these self-interested people. So now they're getting wrath. It's like the Most High God is here and they are messed up. And you know what? These ones are stalking this Empress. They want to come into her 3D space. They know where she lives. They're talking like big bad red rumming men, you know. Of course, they don't want to get their hands dirty, so they're talking about derelicts. They're talking about driving the mind of a homeless, drug-addicted person into committing a crime. So, yeah. Watch your surroundings wherever you go. Make sure that you're aware and ready to respond should anybody get frisky with you. This is a message that I have for you. I hope that it brings clarity to something that you already intuitively knew. And I'll see you on the next one, everybody. Bye.